Hello YouTubers, today's video is a visit to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Also featuring a special predator bird exhibit. After a short wait in line, we entered the main floor where they had several exhibits which included a sand sculpture and also a model of the existing aquarium building. The Clearwater Marine Aquarium staff and volunteers work each day to rescue marine life and provide the most advanced and effective care to maximize the opportunity to return sick or injured animals to their homes. The animals that come through the doors arrive because they are suffering from an illness or severe injury. Many of the animals are found by local residents, fishermen, park rangers, or even visitors to the area. Clearwater Marine Aquarium's education department is dedicated to inspiring guests of all ages to appreciate the marine environment while promoting conservation actions and developing an understanding for the irreplaceable value of all life in our world's ocean. By teaching children and adults the importance of conservation, ecology, and stewardship, they believe they will apply this knowledge to make substantial choices to take an active part in preserving our marine environment. After leaving the main lobby area, we made our way over to the marine wildlife viewing tanks. The very first tank that we visited is where Winter the Dolphin was kept. Winter is their most famous Atlantic bottlenose dolphin and is the star of Dolphin Tale. After losing her tail from becoming entangled in a crab trap line, the team at Clearwater Marine Aquarium worked with the Hangar Clinic to develop a prosthetic tail, allowing Winter to make a full recovery. Winter was found when she was 2 months old, tangled in crab trap line, which cut circulation to her tail flukes. This eventually led to a deterioration and loss of her tail. While most dolphins in this situation wouldn't survive, Winter adapted to her new physical form. Winter is now a 15-year-old female and is a permanent resident of the Clearwater Aquarium. Winter's case was one of the most difficult for CMA. Her story is a bittersweet realization of the dangers faced by animals as a result of human activities in the wild, such as fishery interactions. Through these types of interactions, dolphins and other marine life often become susceptible to entanglement and ingestion of fishing line or other gear that can cause them to become injured, ill, or potentially lead to their death. In order to mitigate these impacts and conserve these species, it is critical for us to do our part and keep our oceans clean and recycled and promote laws and regulations that improve upon fishing practices. Together we can make a difference. One of the most popular exhibits was the Stingray Tank. This is where there were several stingrays swimming in the tank and you were free to touch them as they passed by. None of them seemed to be skittish or shy. In fact, if you wanted to attract them, all you had to do is just reach in and splash the water's surface. At that point, they would swim by so you can touch them. In another section of the aquarium was the turtle rehabilitation pools. Even though you couldn't get too close to them, you could get a pretty good view of them swimming around the pool. Most of these turtles appeared to be in pretty good shape and about ready to be re-released into their natural habitat. After checking out all the marine wildlife, we made our way to the birds of prey exhibit. This particular exhibit was only there for a very short time, and they only had a few birds of prey. But as far as the birds that were there, you can get very close to them, and there was volunteers that can give you an unlimited amount of information. The first bird of prey was the barn owl. Sorry for the background noise, but there was a lot of people asking questions about this particular bird. Just like the other volunteers, this particular individual was very knowledgeable.
So the barn owl actually only eats rodents. Where like the barn owl will eat fish, and he'll eat crawfish, and he'll eat snails and snakes. She will only eat voles, moles, rats, and mice. Here in Florida, she only eats rats and mice. We don't have voles or moles for her. So she has a little diet, but you know what? They're very happy with that. Now we grow sugar cane, which is what makes sugar here in Florida. And unfortunately, with sugar, you're going to find rats and mice, lots of them. So the farmers have been talked to by people, and we asked if we could actually see if we couldn't get them barn owls to help get rid of their mice instead of using poison. So they said okay. So right now in our plantations and on the Everglades, we have approximately 2,500 barn owl boxes that are full, and they actually hunt the sugarcane fields every night, and the farmers don't have to use poison or traps anymore in them. So we get an organic product. It doesn't cost the farmers anything, and the birds are eating a healthy diet.
Water supply is helpful.
Absolutely. They're using them also out in California and Oregon in the minefields to help get rid of the pests out there as well.
Can I take him back to Michigan? I have a mole problem.
Do you have a mole? But she would be very happy
A
to
lot
do
of
that
moles,
for you.
yeah.
Unless they're the great big ones. She likes the ones that are only about that big.
Oh, these are little ones. They
Oh, yeah,
just
she'd be
tear
in
up my yard.
She'd be in heaven.
Yeah.
Pellets, that's the barn owl pellets.
Yeah.
So that's what we dissected owl pellets, and we found mice, bones.
Bowls. You get a lot of bowls.
Yeah.
Do you know why do you know why they use owl pellets? There's a reason. All raptors will throw up what they call a pellet after they eat. Owls swallow their food whole. They call it wolfing down your food. Kestrels or falcons and hawks and eagles, when they eat their food, they actually crunch the bones and then they shred their meat. So they break all the bones. And even if they swallow their food whole like an owl, hawks and eagles and falcons can digest bone. Owls cannot digest bone. So with the owls in your pellet, you get full
We had
full bones, and they can't digest them. So that's why they use owl pellets.
This next bird was a breed of falcon.
He's a falcon. He was originally called a sparrowhawk, but when they did DNA on it, they found out it was a falcon. This is the smallest falcon in North America. Not only that, it's a raptor. Raptors catch things with their talons. All of the birds catch them with their beak. Raptors are that way. They evolved from dinosaurs. This one specifically got that trait from velociraptors and T-Rexes, who also use their talons.
Very cool. So does that mean osprey are also raptors?
Pardon?
Osprey are also raptors?
Yes.
Okay.
Ospreys are also, and so are the eagles and owls and everything else. They're basically birds that catch things with their talons. What's interesting, both vultures, the turkey vulture and the black vulture, are also considered to be raptors, but they don't catch things with them. They usually eat carrion on the ground, dead stuff.
And the
That's a
technically.
good thing, 'cause they can eat anything and not get sick. I mean, they can eat botulism probably and not get sick. The interesting about their birds, they have an interesting way of cooling off. Other birds have to get in water. They pee and poo on their legs to get cool. It works. Falcon. And the best way I can describe it is to just look at World War II airplanes. A Falcon is a very swift flyer. They go around, and whereas a hawk is a very slow flyer. They're very methodical. So if you look at them in the air, this bird, front to back of its wings are thinner and they're longer, but their tips are rounded, pointed. That's because they're like a fighter, they're a fast flyer. The hawk is like a B-29. It's a slow flyer that's more slower maneuvering. So the front to the back of the wing is usually wider and the ends are rounded, much like a B-17. So that's it. The one thing that doesn't work right is this bird's a fast flyer and you would think that its head would be more streamlined. This head is blunt, whereas a hawk is more streamlined. It's longer than wider. And this guy has sort of a blunt head.
It's a falcon.
They're real pretty birds. This is colorful. The male and female are have two different appearances.
That's a barn owl.
The male has a brown chest. The female has the brown lines on it. He's got a blue wing. Her back is brown and tail are brown with black banding. This tail is brown with a black and white line on it.
Isn't it beautiful?
Females are always bigger in the bird world. The reason is the females have to sit on the nest and incubate the baby. Whereas he is more likely to gather food. She also protects the babies in the nest.
I hope you enjoyed this brief look at some of the exhibits at the Clearwater Aquarium. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching.